Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Hot Racing League, brought to you by Circle B Diecast. I'm Glixen with Dark Abyss and K Harvick fan tonight. First race of the playoffs here. It starts out at Phoenix. It's going to be a blast tonight. The trucks was great last night, so I expect nothing but the best here out of our Xfinity Series. We got a lot of good drivers showing up here tonight. It's going to be an extremely fun race. Cannot wait to bring you guys the action. Should be getting in the lobby here shortly. But yeah, we got a lot of heavy hitters in this lobby, a lot of guys competing for a championship. I mean, your first six in the starting grid all in the playoffs, and it's gonna be really fun here to see. We got one hot seat driving up, and we got a part-time, I think, or he's gonna be full-time for the rest of the season, and a more smoke coming in to race the rest of the season out. So pretty cool to see. And Abyss, you can go ahead and give us our Circle B Diecast starting lineups.
Thank you. Starting from the rear and working our way up, Amor Smoke will be starting in the 21st position because this is his first race in the league. Here we go. Starting in the set, and next to him in the 17th position will be Graham Cracker 2. He came with a second place last night. Hopefully, we get to see him crack the top 5 today. After that, we have Material Zero in the next position, then Zachary, then Horatio, then Doc Hudson. I believe I'm not wrong, won the last race. If I'm not wrong, then Gamers, then Air Just Cause, T-Glass, Fabico Gamer, her Honorary Hades, Drew LMAO, Toasted Gamer Z. In the top 3 will be Trippy. Then it will be Brodozer, and then the man starting on front with a 4.5 average is Ha Ha Boog.
Indeed, and guys, well, again, welcome. This is going to be a fun race tonight. I mean, we look at the Gavin Abyss, we look at the truck race we saw last night. There was only 8 guys there, and we were missing a couple. We are coming into Phoenix tonight, again, one of the most difficult racetracks in this game. It's, again, one of the most strategical, but not so much of the fuel mileage. It's tires, which to me is a lot more fun than fuel, because you actually have to really manage your stuff, and it creates a lot of comers and goers. It's a great way to open the playoffs, and I can't wait. We're getting ready to load in here. These guys will do a pace lap and get going. Let's give you a little bit of a breakdown, though. Of course, a little bit more fuel mileage as to be expected with these Xfinity cars. They get about 24 laps in the fuel tank. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of guys go that far. I think the most I've heard anybody going is 22 laps on the tires. So tire wear, again, is definitely going to be a huge factor tonight. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. And again, we got 10 really competitive guys. Really competitive guys trying to go out here starting tonight to race for a chance at a championship. When we get down right before Las Vegas, we will cut down from 10 guys to 4, so 6 guys will be eliminated out of this thing, and that battle starts tonight. We have all of our playoff drivers here, and Gavin, this is going to be a fun race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great race here this evening as we do our honorary pace lap while the drivers scramble to find their starting positions. Can't wait to see what happens here tonight. We got Mark Falks, or Haha Boog, whatever persona he is under tonight.
Names.
He will be starting in the pole. Multiple personalities, and if he gets in the booth tonight, maybe we'll get to hear him act goofy like he always does. But yeah, he's starting on pole, so that ought to be interesting. We'll see. I believe that's his first pole start of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty cool to see Mark up front. About to go green here. 22 laps in stage number 1 in the 54 Twix. Supra is going to lead us off to the green flag. Here we go. Mark is going to lead them off. A lot of guys just went under the yellow line there before the start-finish line. That's probably going to be a tail of an EOL there. So they'll have to get that situated here with our race control. But Haha Boog's going to lead here at Phoenix. He's got Brodozer right behind him. Trippy Tricks, Toasted Gamers, all right there behind him with the 10, I believe, of Drew LMAO right behind him. Haha Boog, though, is going to claim the first lap here tonight at Phoenix in the first ever Xfinity playoff race in the Red Hot Racing League. Abyss?
Yes, indeed, as cars are going to the rear because they went below that line before the restart zone. As a wreck, I would say, in the turn
Big wreck.
1. huge calamity in the back. Not sure who was involved there.
I think the lobby's lagging a little bit there. I see cars kind of bouncing all around, so
Yeah, I'm seeing the
either
same
that or
thing.
there's a few cars lagging.
Hopefully that sorts itself out. Of course, we notoriously have dealt with server lag here and of course in other places. It's been a big issue. We'll see. But either way, early caution there. This should change things. It'll be interesting to see whether or not we only ran about a lap or so there. If we have anybody stay out again, this place very, very hard on the tires. Will we have people stay out right here and try to get some strategy? Will we have any playoff guys? I'm hearing one of them being the Zero Zachary. He's going to probably stay out on this racetrack right here, try to get himself some track position. Points are going to be very important, and these games start right now, Abyss.
Yes, indeed, as here we go back to green as the 00 kind of feints to the inside line. Not sure if that's going to count or not. We'll have to hear from the officials on that one. I don't think so. He's getting very low and out of the way there, so I think that will count, and he'll be going to the rear as Mark returns to the lead. But he is being challenged by the 9 of Toasted on the back stretch. Here they go. Mark, a great run off to the corner into turn 3 here. And Mark will need to lead another lap here as everyone continues to be 2, 3, and I think even 4 wide behind them, Gavin.
Yeah, as they start to fan out through the dog leg, Mark continues to lead, but Toasted Gamers is really closing the gap in with the 48 of Doc Hudson making his return. Yellow flag out. Doc Hudson, though, he's made his way up to third. I believe he started
Material 0.
outside the top 5, so
Actually, it would have been outside
really
the top
moved
10.
his way up. So starting 11th, just like Trippy Trick said here earlier in our party, starting 11th, Doc Hudson made his way up to, I believe, now 3rd or 4th. And you remember, guys, Doc Hudson won in his last start at Charlotte, so let's see if he can capitalize here tonight, just like he did there at Charlotte. He's really looking to grab another Phoenix win, and I know he's got a good piece under him there from former experience racing with him. But right now, the man up front is Haha Boog. I believe we have a lag out as well. We'll get news on that here in a minute. It's apparently Graham's lagged out. We'll see if we can find him. We'll find him middle of the race, but Doc Hudson to the lead now, Kevin. So what do you think's going to happen here, Doc Hudson and Hades on your front row?
Well, if you're Doc here, as we head back to green, Gavin, he has nothing to lose here. He didn't make the playoffs. He's coming off that Charlotte win. He's riding some momentum. He's here for a win and a win only. Hades, meanwhile, he's in the playoff picture here. He needs points, needs everything he can get, and a lot of these guys back here behind them are in the same category. They need the points. They need everything they can get. So there's a lot of different races going on. And again, you had the fact that, like we saw here, Doc and Hades, both those guys stayed out. They're on a little bit older tires, so we'll have to see if that plays into effect. Again, even though there's not a ton of laps on these tires, any wear does have an effect. So you have to keep an eye on that, and hopefully we can get a longer run in here. We haven't had a very long run so far. I'd like to see that take place and see what these guys really have under the hoods. Abyss?
Well, Kevin, I have to agree with you there, but remember, Hades also got a win at Charlotte in the Cup Series 2 weeks ago, so he is coming off some very impressive momentum, but right now he's holding his place in the 2nd position as Doc continues to pull away, but the hounding hound behind him of Mark is still right on his tail, battling to keep the 3rd as he goes 2, I think even 3 wide into turn 3. Ooh, it's close. Yes, they're 3 wide. Mark gets moved up a little bit as they keep on racing. He's falling back through the pack of holes right now, people. Gavin, this is interesting to see Mark a little struggle here early on in the race.
Yeah, Mark not definitely in the place he wants to be. He's having to run through the middle of 2 fast cars, and looks like he just got bumped there by the 22 on his inside. That's going to send the 5 of Amore Smoke up to the wall. Unfortunate for him there, the 22 just got into him a little bit and put the 5 up in the wall, but Mark has fallen off like a rock. Moving back now, he sits right around 7th, I believe, so not what he wanted to see. And now he's got to worry about Brodozer, and I believe that is also the 9 right under him of Toasted Gamers. He's got to worry about Legend, who has a really fast piece here right now, pushing that number 9 on the bottom there. He's got to worry about a lot of things, and we'll see if Mark Falks can rebound. Haha Boog, we'll see if he can rebound and get back up front where he was before, Kevin.
I did, and the one thing I'm starting to notice, we're on a little bit longer run here, well under 10 to go. Also, I apologize if you hear some noise in the background. There's some shelves being put up in another part of the house, and hardwood floors echo. But besides that, no, the one thing I'm noticing as we get into this run is we're seeing a lot of bumping and beating and banging on these cars, and it's kind of lending itself to that old short track thing that I kind of talked about, or maybe I didn't, but I know, Gavin, me and you will appreciate that. I think, Abyss, you might fall into that same category. I personally like seeing kind of that short track type racing going on. You know, hey, look, Robin's racing. As long as you don't overdo it, we've seen quite a few of those today, especially amongst our playoff guys. So these guys definitely are out here to race. They know what's on the line, and they know just how important every single point is. And as the stage winds down, I think they're going to get quite a bit more aggressive as this moves along, Abyss.
Well, indeed, but remember, the man leading the playoff line right now is Honor Hades, but he's being challenged by Trippy Tricks right now in the third and the second position right now. But Hades I think, is trying to negotiate a way for him not to get run over from Trippy right now. So that's going to be interesting to see as Drew LMAO continues to work his way forward into now the fourth position. Fourth, right in that fifth. No, fourth, yes. I'm into turn one right now as I'm trying to find Mark. It seems like he's kind of on his own right now, very far back, Gavin. I'm not sure what's going on with Mark, but he needs to figure out what's going on as the 9 of Toasty gets loose in the middle of this back straightaway and will hit the wall going into turn 3.
Yeah, the number 9 leading hard on that 92 right now of Legend Johnson towards the middle / towards the back of the field. The 9 really just got loose, I believe, hit the quarter panel of one of the cars on his high side, probably was the 8 of Horatio Kane, and you know, that's just, it goes all downhill from there. You hit the quarter panel of the car and it's just going to send you the other way, and that's what happened to the 9. Wouldn't be surprised if he had some damage on him there, but you know, guys, he's going to have to rebound from that. You can see he kind of has some nose damage. It's probably going to be a little bit tighter in that race car, which might not be the worst thing. I've heard a lot of cars are being loose right now, as I'm hearing from our 2 drivers in here, Hades and Trippy, complaining about loose race cars. So it might not be the worst thing for Toasted, but definitely not something he would like to have happen right now. But one of those guys that's going to have to rebound, and he's right next to Haha Boog, who also is looking to rebound, sits right behind the 5 of More Smoke towards the middle of this pack. Kevin?
Indeed, and the white flag is out for stage number 1. These guys are going to come back around here, and there's a very interesting battle going on here with the 6, the 68, the 10 of Drew. All these guys kind of right in this little area here, Abyss. There's a lot going on for these points, but up front,
oh, it's going to be a line trail. Is it going to be It's going to be Trippy over Hades. Very close line, I would say, right bumper to bumper, maybe half an inch separated those two from a second and a third. That is a very clean finish, guys. That's a finish I would love to see every weekend.
Indeed. By the way, stage winner, I believe, still ended up being Doc. So, no, we didn't talk about him a whole lot, but that's because, again, nothing against Doc. He's doing a great job out here. He's not here for the points. He's here for the win. Second place there, those were your playoff guys, and we were watching that one. Gavin?
Yeah, Doc Hudson not racing for points tonight, but winning a stage, definitely a big morale booster, as he's going to take that green and white checkered flag here for stage number 1. He's going to wind up running first here into stage number 2. We'll see if he can hold on to it. Typically, we've seen Doc Hudson has a heater of a race car and then continues to hold that speed throughout the whole race, and it looks like a little bit of a lag restart there. 19 laps in this stage. They'll definitely be able to make it here, I would assume, unless some guys have their cambers too high or tire wear is just out of their control. But Doc Hudson right now leading here in lap number 1 of stage number 2, under attack by the number 68 of Trippy Tricks. And the 6 and the 10 back there battling for third. That's Drew and Hades there battling for that third place position. A lot of guys, and this is what I love about the dogleg, guys. You see all these cars spread out, and it just creates, it can create havoc, but it also can create some beautiful racing there as you watch guys merge back up to each other when it comes to that dogleg. one of my favorite things about it. So it's just a beautiful aspect of Phoenix. That's one of my reasons why I love this track so much. There's so many different ways you can take the dog leg, and that's what makes it so much fun to race here, guys. This.
Yes, indeed. Right now, as I'm seeing people take the dog leg or just taking the actual track, which is not very much used or in this game very much, but when you have to use it, you have to use it, but you lose so much time doing it. As Hades went from, I would say, starting third to all the way, I want to say 10th or 11th now. And there's a green flag run here that's kind of slowly turning into his kind of favor. As right now, it seems Doc Hudson just continues to pull away right now. And I believe Trippy is still in second, Drew LMAO in the third position, and the 22 in the fifth position of T-Glass, currently just riding along, not pushing the tires, knowing they still have to go around 17 laps, Kevin.
And indeed, and the one thing that I was hearing in particular with Doc there was, and of course we know, Gavin, me and you both know very well, Biss, you do as well, Doc has a tendency to throw everything on the side of speed and not worry so much about saving. Well, even though fuel is not a concern here, for some guys, like you were talking about, Gavin, depending on how you set your car up, tires may still very well be a concern. From what we were hearing, and again, obviously we'll have to see how this plays out, Doc was only able to go about 18 laps on a set of tires. That would put him about a lap short of where he needs to go for this stage. So right now, he looks like he's going to need a caution. Meanwhile, the rest of these guys behind him, while they're very, very close to one another, they're definitely at least saving some tire. They will probably be able to make it. This includes many of your playoff drivers. So keep an eye on that 48. While it looks like he is on fire, you could say red hot, and pulling away from these guys, he might not be out of the ballpark yet.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way you can count out Doc Hudson, but you also can't count out the guy who's worked his way up to second. Our truck race winner last night, Drew LMAO, looking to double down here tonight, running second in that number 10 Chevy Camaro there right behind Doc Hudson. He is really looking to try to capitalize and use what he learned last night from the truck race, and after complete dominance in that truck race, he's going to try to execute here tonight and possibly double down if he can. But back up front, Doc Hudson looks to be slowing down a little bit. Might be saving some tire as much as he can there. This track really can burn those right sides up. It's one of those tracks that it just tears up those right side tires, and you can tell right now by the way Doc Hudson is driving, he might be attempting to save those tires as these guys behind him are starting to close the gap. Doc Hudson slowing down just enough to try to make these tires last just one extra lap. That's all it sounds like he needed from earlier practice session information we were given. So Doc Hudson letting the field get back up to him, but that could also bite him as well, because when you go and battle another car, it can kind of ruin your tires there too, because you're having to put more pressure on them and turn the car a bit harder to make turns and so on and so forth. So Doc Hudson's going to have to manage the traffic behind him, but also worry about his tires, Abyss.
Well, Kevin, Gavin, I don't know why I said Kevin, but speaking about tires, that dog leg, it does take a percentage out of your tires every time you do cut it. So, so Doc Hudson could save like a percentage of his tires if he doesn't take that dog leg, but Drew is coming with such a great speed he can't afford not to take the dog leg. So that's kind of the situation that Doc Hudson's in if he wants to continue leading this race as long as he can. He has to continue cutting that dog leg, but if he doesn't want to lead and let Drew pass him, he's going to have to kind of just as they're 3 wide for third going into turn 3, hopefully they keep it clean, and they do Trippy all the way to the wall, but the 22 in the middle and putting the 5 Pop Smoke almost into the wall there, but
more smoke.
Completely clean. More smoke, sorry. Captain, thank you for the correction there. But as they continue, they're finally getting 2 wide, Kevin.
And he no look, and this battle heated up quickly. I was kind of while you were talking, I was kind of watching. I was like, okay, these guys are very close to each other, especially T-Glass and Trippy. And then next time I look, I happen to go look back down, and these guys are battling each other 3 wide coming through the corner. So I was like, oh, okay. But no, how about a more smoke? He had to start at the back end of this field. This is his first start here. He's doing a great job right now. He's made his way up inside the top 4, top 3. He definitely is looking like he might have a piece right into this race. Took him a little while to get up here, but guess what? He might end up finding himself up here when it matters most. Again, another guy. He's part-time, so he's not really looking for points. He's just looking to bring home a checkered flag. Doing a great job. And, of course, again, you got your playoff guys racing one another very hard there as well. So, whole lot going on in this one little area. And Doc Hudson, meanwhile, still is showing these guys what it's like to be out front. Gavin.
Yeah, Doc Hudson still managing to hold on to that lead, but Drew is closing in very quickly. Doc Hudson, though, looks to be saving tires still as the laps continue to dwindle down. So Doc Hudson really has got to worry about these tires. I mean, he's really done a fair job of saving, but 5 laps remaining. Only time will tell if Doc Hudson's tires can withstand the wear and tear they've been put through. And if that does happen to bite Doc Hudson there, Drew might come home with the stage, which he would love to have, those extra 10 points. So we'll have to see if Drew can take the stage away from Doc. But another guy that I want to talk about, running a bit farther back, got to take a look here at Legend Johnson. He is running a little bit farther back in the pack. Got to get to him here. There he is. He's running a little bit behind. He's right behind the 22, sitting about 7th right now, but been running a little bit quiet back here. He's right in front of Mark right now and sitting right behind T-Glass. He's slowly but surely catching this battle right here up in front of him with these 3 cars. So 3 laps to go. We'll have to see if Legend Johnson can tackle some more stage points, which he would love to have, and see if we can find that 92 farther up in this pack. He continues to close down, though, on these cars ahead of him. Abyss?
Yes, indeed, but coming to 2 to go. This is the lap where we were told that Doc Hudson could make it to easily, but the question is, can he make it one more time around? So this is the 18th lap. He's to make it 19. So the question is, has he saved enough? The gap is pretty good between him and Drew. He just has to be careful on this set of tires coming onto the back stretch out of turn 2. If he can see this flag, no matter what, a caution would help him make it to the end of the stage, but he would love to make it under his own power back to the start-finish line. 1 to go, Kevin.
Indeed, Doc, all he's got to do now is hope and pray that tire doesn't go out. If it does, Drew is right here to capitalize, and that would be big for Drew. Trying to get himself some stage points. Right now, he's the highest running playoff driver in the field, currently running in the 2nd position. Doc, though, looking like as long as he can get back through turns 3 and 4. Oh, boy!
Tire into turn 3!
Can Drew take it? Drew is going to take the stage win, but Doc will still finish 2nd. Spinning over the line. That right front went out right at the last second there. Wow, Doc Hudson, though, is going to have to suffer some damage there to that 48 Chevy, but Drew takes it in the last corner, kind of reminiscent of the Larson-Pocono crash there where he lost his tire and went straight to the wall. It looked kind of the same to me.
Same corner.
Just in a different track there, so the 48 loses his tire there, goes straight up into the wall, and he almost had Drew there, just missed it by probably about half a second.
Well, the good news is for Doc is he wasn't the only one to suffer that issue. Further back in the pack, there was at least 3 or 4 other cars I saw just go straight into turn 3. Probably more than that. There was a lot of guys, needless to say, that lost tires there in that last corner, so quite a few guys are going to have to come in and repair damage, and we'll see what they can come back and do here. But, Abyss, we are now 2 stages in. Drew picks up a stage win there. That's going to do good for his playoff points. But we are back under green for the 3rd and final stage and our playoff opener. 53 laps to go.
Yes, indeed, as Drew finally has that true clean air in front of him, no car in front of him, as he will look to pull away from Trippy and maybe show his hand to be a favorite early on in the championship hunt. But Trippy is not going to let him go easy. Here he comes trying to maybe show that he's here as they're 3 wide into turn 3 coming to the start-finish line. They go 4 wide onto the banking there. They're getting more crazy as the restarts come, but right now Drew is still the lead man, guys. Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, Drew, as soon as Drew, last night, as soon as he took the lead, he didn't look back, and right now he's got the lead, but right now he's got to see if he can pull away like he did the last time. Doc Hudson, after suffering that damage, he managed to fall back to 8th there, having to repair that damage and get new tires and such. He falls back to 8th, but he's already back in 4th. That just shows you the speed that Doc Hudson has. He just needs to improve on the longevity of his tires. But back up front, like I said earlier, Drew just needs to never look back now. It might look like it did yesterday, as we're going to see here. The 13 spins. See if we can get a look at what happened there. See if there's any damage on him. I don't think the 13 suffered any damage there, luckily for him. So maybe he'll just have some flat-spotted tires, but that's just something you hate to see for a guy like Air Just Cuz making his first playoff start in the Red Hot Racing League Xfinity Series. And you hate to see it for a guy like him, man. He just struggling right now, and he's got to find a way to turn it around here late. So unfortunate timing there for Air Just Cuz to spin, but luckily for him, no damage, and he'll keep chugging along there, Kevin.
Indeed, and the other thing too, I want to go back to is let's break down this stage. It was a 53 lap long stage, if you remember. Of course, at the moment we're still under the green, haven't had a caution. We'll see if I jinx us or not, like Larry Mack, as I have been called by Mr. Trippy in here. But anyways, you break this down. You look. Let's just take Doc's situation for example. Okay, we know he can go about 18 laps on tires. Actually, apparently, based on the Stage 2 finish, he can go 19 or 18 and 3/4. But either way, you take him. If he goes 18 laps, he can make this stage on 2 stops. It will be very, very tight at the end, I think, on his tires. But he has to run it to 18 both times in order to not risk blowing a tire out at the end of this race. Hey, we've heard some other guys that say they can go 22 laps. You're still going to be in the same window as far as you're going to be on a 2-stopper, and I'm going to tell you right now, nobody's going to be able to save this thing unless we get a caution that sets that up. So it's a 2-stop race for everybody. But either way, well, okay. Hades over here decides he's going to make me or try to prove me wrong. No offense. I wish you luck. We'll leave it at that. Hades is trying to stretch this into 1 stop. That would be impressive. In order to do that, he's going to have to go about 26, 27 laps on a run. That is 3 laps longer than the fuel tank. Again, you get 24 on the fuel tank. And again, like I said, the longest I've heard anybody go on tires to this point is 22 laps. He's stretching it another 5 laps on the tires. That is a tall ask, and he's going to have to do that for not just one, but both runs here, Gavin. Is that doable for Hades while all these other guys presumably will be on a 2-stop strategy?
Well, I mean, you got to think about who we're talking about here. Hades is a different breed when it comes to saving his equipment. I mean, from what I know about this guy, absolutely incredible at saving his stuff. Sometimes don't know how he does it. Sometimes I think he's cheating, but we'll leave that to another topic for a different day. But he's going to have to be able to save a good amount if he wants to cut out a whole stop. And you know, that could be the move. It could actually play out for him, but you also got to think, will these guys up in the front, like a More Smoke who sits second and Drew who sits first, will these guys be able to put down fast enough laps and carry their stuff enough to where, you know, they take out that stop that they overcut that stop that he's doing right there. I mean, that's just something you got to look forward to. And also you got to think as well with Hades saving, you know, he's going to be on older tires towards the end of this race than these guys who will take a 2-stop. So that's another factor that you have to bring into the equation. And it's a really big strategy game. Phoenix has always been a strategy track towards the end, especially with it wearing your tires the way it does. We're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But right now, this battle for the lead continues to heat up with the More Smokes debut tonight, and he's running second right now, closing in on Drew as he looks to take the lead here, side by side down the back straightaway here, coming down into turn number 3 and 4. Drew is going to be forced to run that high line. More Smoke's going to take it from him, but will Drew look for the crossover? He will. He will look for the crossover. Will he be able to get it, though? That is the question. Drew right now battling out with a More Smoke for this lead, but a More Smoke's going to get that lap. They're both too wide, though, into 1 and 2. Kevin?
Indeed, and Abyss, I think now the other question that has to be asked here, Hades is trying to save this. Well, the thing that he's doing by doing this is he's already giving up a lot of time on the racetrack just by having to run a slower pace and those types of things. He's also going to have to stretch the fuel out further. He's going to have to stretch those tires further. What that means is he's going to have to stay out on the racetrack longer than these other guys who are going to come down pit road. That's when we bring up the short pit strategy. A lot of guys, especially at a track like Phoenix that eats tires so much, you pit early here, you're going to gain time on those in front of you as long as you can get in and off before them pretty clean without any mistakes or issues. If you can do that, you're going to gain quite a bit of track time just by running on fresher tires. That is the other risk that Hades is going to have to pay attention to here is while this could work, will he be able to overcome the gap in time that he will lose by doing this on the racetrack? Obviously, he'll cut out a pit stop if he can do it, and this pit road is an agonizingly long ride, long trip down, very long. So, can he overcome that as well, Abyss?
He can as long as he does not go another lap down. He's 1 lap down now, as you can see the leaders going by him now. If he goes 2 down, if they can put that speed on the racetrack, Hades is not winning this race. Because the gap, the time distance, it would be too hard for Hades to close that gap if he goes 2 down under green. If a caution comes out, then it's a different story. But it's going to be a very interesting question to see if Hades can feel safe. But I am going to start this time. I'm going to do the Circle B diecast one to watch. I'm going to steal this first move from yes, and I'm going to choose someone that has been blowing my mind all race long, has fought his way from the front from the back to the front and has stayed here and has taken the lead. I'm taking Smoke, guys.
Well, I'm gonna jump in before Gavin does because I am trying to actually win one of these things. He's gotten all 3 since we've started doing this.
Dr. Pit,
my turn. Pit stops, we'll get to that in a minute, but my Circle B diecast one to watch is gonna be somebody who coming in here and coming into this weekend has been coming off a lot of bad luck, but he was able to keep himself in contention and was able to make the playoffs in Xfinity, was able to make it in Cup. He finally was able to start breaking that bad luck streak. He got his first ever RHRL win last night in the Truck Series race here. We got to talk to him. He felt very confident. He felt very confident in his abilities at this racetrack. I'm going to go with Drew LMAO to take on his second victory and try to set himself up for the first ever RHRL weekend sweep. Gavin?
Well, I hate to be the guy, but I'm going to prove Trippy right here tonight. I think Doc Hudson may have sped, so I'm just going to prove Trippy right. Everyone knows my pick. I'm going with Hades here tonight. I know he is extremely well when it comes to saving, and Kevin, you stole my pick. I was going to double down on Drew, but I think Hades is the next best option here. He's running a different strategy than everyone else, which could really pay off for him, and we might see that tonight. Hades really known for his fuel-saving ability and his tire-saving ability, so we'll see if that pays off for him tonight. My pick is Hades, the number 6 Chevy tonight.
Indeed. And by the way, guys, pit stops underway. Let's start talking about them. Trippy Tricks just came in from the lead. I saw some other guys come in. I mean, obviously they're taking 4 tires. What lap are we on now? That's another good question.
I want to know who the leader is.
Abyss?
Like, I could be completely wrong. It was Trippy right now. Everyone's in pit road. I want to see the gap between Smoke and the 45 of Doc Hudson now, as Doc Hudson actually passed the 5. So that, there goes Doc with a huge lead over him right now as they come out of the pits. I think Hades might be our leader. Could be wrong, huh? T-Glass was
22. Ooh. So let's get you up to speed. There's a whole lot going on right here. Obviously we have pit stops going on, guys pitting on different laps. We'll see what happens right here, but of course T-Glass now, the 22 car, he's trying to stretch this further, maybe doing the same strategy potentially as the 6. Hades might not be alone in this one. He might have snuck by us on that radar, but we'll have to see if he can actually pull it off or not. Whether or not he will be able to do it, or if maybe he's just trying to stretch this out. 10 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Hades is trying to stretch this out. We are hearing, though, he is not quite in position yet where he needs to be with his fuel, maybe having to save a little bit more behind the wheel of that 6 machine. But either way, Gavin, T-Glass leads this race, and we believe he might be on the same strategy as Hades.
Yeah, I mean, none of us picked T-Glass, but T-Glass could be the one to prove us all wrong here. I mean, I believe he is our race leader right now, and he is on that saving strategy, so that is a possibility that T-Glass could pull off this strategy and possibly win. So Hades may not be alone on this one, just like you guys said, but I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. T-Glass definitely, when it comes to my mind, not the guy I know to save. I mean, I haven't really had a ton of racing experience with him here at Phoenix, so he might be able to pull this off if he can stretch it just a couple more laps, might get it to where he needs to be, but he is running extremely slow times, guys, and that's something that you got to watch here as he's going to bring it down pit road this time and surrender the lead.
Yes, indeed, as Hades is also coming to pit road this time as well. So Hades is on pit road now. So now the question is, the battle for the lead. This is where is it going to end? And I think, if I'm not wrong, Doc Hudson is going to have this lead because of the pit strategy, coming in a lot earlier than a lap earlier than Smoke did. If I'm not wrong, Kevin.
Indeed, and the other thing too, I want to real quick go back to this one more time, and then we'll shut up about it for a little while. But it is important. T-Glass, the other guy we didn't talk about because we didn't realize he was doing it. Well, he actually went a lap further than Hades, so he is definitely on the same strategy. And right now, seems like he might be doing it a little bit better. We'll have to see. Maybe something happens here later on, obviously. But there's definitely two sort of races going on. You got the 6 and the 22 racing each other on one strategy, and then there's pretty much everybody else. So a whole lot going on, a whole lot to keep track of, and this is why I love this place, because no matter what, there's always something going on here, Gavin.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe Doc Hudson will be your leader now, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got about half a front stretch, not really half a front stretch. I do see the 5 right there behind him. He's got about a turn on that second place number 5, and the number 5 also might take this lead, and if he does, that might be all she wrote for Doc, unless he can capitalize on these next 2 undercuts. You remember from Charlotte, I believe it kind of was the same instance there, so we'll see if he can manage to do that, but he's got to try to hold on to this lead and at least pit from first if he wants a chance at this one. But the number 5 of Amore Smoke there riding right behind and closing this gap very, very quickly, so we'll have to see how this battle plays out as the 5 continues to close the gap on the 48, and Drew wrecked.
Drew, huge. Who had Drew?
That's a lot of time that he's going to lose. Kevin is the cursed commentator. Cursed Drew there. Oh my goodness. You should have let me pick him, Kevin. What a save, though, by this number 10. That just shows you the talent behind the wheel there, guys. That's just an epic save, to say the least. But he's going to lose a lot of time to trying to save that car, and that might hand over a spot. And yeah, just like Trippy reminded me, and here he's going to definitely lose some tires there. Spinning, definitely not the way to treat the tires. They're going to be screaming at him for that, so we'll have to see how this plays out for the 10.
Well, right now, Doc Hudson is slowing down, I think, a little bit, because Among Smoke.
He said Pop Smoke.
I've been trying not to say that the entire race, and it slipped out today, boys. It slipped out. Smoke here. It slipped out. But as Smoke continues to reel in the 48 here, guys, this is going to be an interesting battle, because I believe if the 5 can pit, the 5 can pit with the 48, the 5 could actually beat the 48, but that's going to be an interesting battle. But right, what do you think, Kevin?
I tell you what, this is going to be very interesting. Again, we have another round of pit stops to come up. I think now if you're in more smoke, what do you try to maybe short pit Doc? Again, that's a bit of a stretch on the tires. Obviously, we know Doc is probably going to pit again here with about 18 laps to go. So we break this. So fuel window is open, by the way, guys. Pit window is open. You could pit from here now and at least make it on fuel. If Doc's going to come in, it'll actually be this lap right here. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if you're in more smoke, what you can try to do here to maybe leapfrog Doc. We saw what Doc did when he went down earlier. He pulled a pretty good gap, Gavin. So what do you think a more smoke can do here?
Well, I think Amore would probably be best off to stay on his strategy. He's really forcing pressure on Doc Hudson. He's making Doc stretch his stuff.
Pit road is open.
And you know just as well as I did there that Doc wasn't able to do it in stage 2. So we'll see if he comes down this lap or the next. But his tires definitely got to be screaming. But that number 5 is continuing to close in. And might I add, guys, Drew went a lap down. He short pit, so he might have to save some tire and some fuel as well. So a lot of different strategies now being put into place as Drew had to switch up and bring it down pit road there. His tires definitely got flat spotted there when he spun, but luckily for him, no damage to the race car, so he's going to unlap himself here, but this could play a certain factor here. If Doc is trying to pit, that could be a pretty close call, and looks like Doc is going to bring it down pit road here. More smoke, though. He's going to continue on.
Indeed, so we'll see. So Doc goes maybe a little bit longer than we expected right there. We'll have to see now what Amore does in reaction to this, where the rest of these guys fall. And again, let's not forget about these two guys, the 22 of T-Glass and the 6 of Honorary Hades. Both these guys playoff drivers. We'll see what happens. And more smoke in. The 68 of Trippy, not in.
Believe that's going to make the 68 our leader.
Oh, Toasted is.
It's actually Toasted Gamers is our leader. We'll see if Toasted Gamers is going to bring it down here or stretch it as far as he can. Maybe try to get a tire advantage towards the end. Looks like that 9 has accumulated some front left damage that I didn't see last time we were on board with him. So I wonder if he accumulated that throughout the run, but now Trippy Tricks is our leader now, so we'll get up to the 68 here. I believe the 48 is out of pit road as well, so we'll see how this plays out for these guys. The 68, though, probably going to bring it down this time. He's telling us he is. It's going to have to be a really good entry here to gain some of that time back that he's lost being on old tires. See what he does here to bring it down pit road. 68 is going to surrender the lead.
Indeed, there goes Trippy. And now, where we had to turn our focus, guys, is the 22 car, I think, and the 6, but especially the 22. Can he make this go to the end? Yeah.
The 6 and the 22, they're right with each other. So this is the strategy call right there. They are no longer pitting. So this is going to be an interesting strat to call right now. What is? Oh, he is.
Yeah, they might be next to each other on the racetrack, but scoreboard says otherwise. In fact, the 22 has really shown Hades what he should have done. I think would be the way to put it. If this works out for him, he actually has the 6 car a lap behind him. So we'll have to see how this works for them, Gavin.
Could the 22 be the sleeper pick we all missed out on? I guess he'll have to show us here during this race, but if T-Glass can pull this off, he might be a bigger mastermind than we thought. I mean, never if I would have thought tonight you would have told me T-Glass is going to save so much fuel, it's going to be enough to win. But T-Glass, definitely doing well with his strategy, and honestly, it would be really amazing to see him pull a win out here at Phoenix with that strategy behind him. Definitely a lot of work put into that strategy. 8 car, though, is our leader. Get on board with the 8. Hasn't pit yet. Probably will here soon if he hasn't already. Yeah, he's coming down pit road right now. The number 8 car is going to surrender that lead. And here he goes down pit road, Kevin.
Indeed, Horatio and, of course, the legendary Ralph, as we all know, the legendary Beagle. They head down pit road, and now we'll see. I believe T-Glass now assumes the lead, if I am correct. Oh, boy. This is another sleeper pick. And actually, I talked more about him last night, and then he didn't race, but he's here tonight. How about this 13 of Eric
Down pit
Just
road.
Cause? This is, well, never mind. I was going to say, this is one of his best tracks. Trying a little something there, didn't quite work. He now heads in. I want to say the 22 will take the lead, but I honestly, every time I say it, it's not the case. So, hold on a minute. Okay, guys. So, things change on us again. The 48 car still manages to beat out the 22 despite the strategy. So those guys were not able to overcome the gap that they were losing based on time and tires on the racetrack. So the 48 of Doc reassumes the lead after pit stops. 8 laps to go, Abyss.
Right now, I'm looking at my pick of the 5, and I'm cheering him on as hard as I can go right now. But the gap is, I would say, maybe a second and a half off the leader right now. but right now, my pick is, I guess, the highest out of them all. So I guess I picked the best pick without picking the winner right now, because but the pressure is going to try to put on here 7 to go in the race, Gavin. Do you think Smoke could get to him, or is it too late?
Well, like you call him, Pop Smoke definitely has a chance to be reeling in on this 48. I mean, he did it in the last segment there that they ran, the last fuel run, and if Doc can't make the full run, which I believe he can, we'll have to see how hard More Smoke is willing to push his stuff to get up there to Doc Hudson, which he really has a good chance. He has a good chance of doing it here. He is really cutting the time down on Doc Hudson quickly. But remember, from Charlotte, Doc Hudson's last race win and his last start in the Xfinity Series, he managed to hold off Asylums and Ward Burton there at the end and did a masterful strategy and undercut just like he's doing today. So will that strategy play off for him, and will he go 2 for 2 in that regard with that strategy pulled, or will More Smoke have something for him, Kevin?
Indeed, I tell you what, I definitely think this 5's got something. I tell you what, man, Doc is a tough customer to get around. The dude is not afraid to block you. He knows how to use his track position, knows how to use his car. He might get there, but passing him is another whole thing. So we'll see how More Smoke, if he can get there, how he decides to get around him, if he can get around him. Tell you what, if he gets there, we're going to have a fun battle for this lead. But I'll tell you where else is a fun battle. I've been watching the 68, and there's a whole group of cars back here with him. I see Toasted right here. I see Trippy. I see a few other guys as well. So a lot of playoff guys right here in this little group with 3 laps to go at Phoenix, Abyss.
Yes, indeed. I'm still cheering on my guy as hard as I can. I'm just hoping a caution can come out in the 5, can pull some amazing wizardry. But right now, coming to 2 to go, looks like Doc Hudson is going to pull a 2 in a row at the track, people. But again, they still have 2 laps to go. Something could happen to Doc that could change everything as the gap continues to close, Gavin.
Yeah, the 5 really making him work for all his money here tonight. The number 5 really trying to push to Doc. The gap continuing to shrink for Doc Hudson, and as long as he doesn't check that rear view mirror, he might be good, as I believe we are now on the white flag. Final lap of the race, sponsored by Circle B Diecast. The only thing on my mind, and I'm sure on Doc's mind, will his tires make it? We'll have to see, as Doc Hudson really is close here to the finish. Can he make it? He's going to baby it through 3 and 4. Doc Hudson will come out of turn number 4 and win here at Phoenix. Undercut strategy plays to his favor, and he'll win 2 in a row in his last 2 starts. What a move there by Doc Hudson. What a way to grab that final stage back. More Smoke closed it in on him there, and he manages to push far enough away that he can come out on top yet again. And we will get to hear from our top 3 here shortly, which is Doc Hudson, More Smoke, and I believe 3rd would be Toasted, if I'm not mistaken. So.
I'm about a top 5 for Haha Boog. Ran on the pole, or started on the pole, led quite a few laps. I'd say this is one of his best performances. Does it right when it matters at the kickoff of the playoffs here, trying to make that run at a championship. Does a great job tonight. Your third highest finishing playoff driver, so really good job by him tonight as well, and some other guys. By the way, I just want to point out the highest finishing driver that was on the one-stop pit strategy ended up being T-Glass, and I believe he came home in either P6 or P7. So clearly not the result that those guys were looking for. Hades was not inside the top 10. So not the result those guys were looking for, but hey, it's the playoffs. You got to throw something at it if you don't feel like your speed is quite there. So they tried it. They threw a dart at the dartboard, and unfortunately, this time the dart didn't stick. So good job, good try by those guys. But either way, we'll get your top 3 in here as we head into our Circle B Diecast post-race show.
And just to add, T-Glass did run a pretty fast lap, I believe second on the board with a 26.191, so only 11 thousandths slower than Doc Hudson's fastest lap. So for him to be saving and put up a fast lap like that, that was pretty crazy of him to do. So he wasn't slow at all, and he also manages to save his equipment there pretty well to end up where he did. So
I'm trying to
once we
get
get
guys in
more
here.
smoke in here.
Oh, he's offline. Hold on. Working on it, boys.
Once we get a more smoke in here, we will be bringing you guys the post-race action. Interviews from our top 3 tonight. Toasted Gamers will be first up in third in that number 9 Chevrolet. Second will be a Toyota Supra piloted by a more smoke. And first, winning in his last 2 starts at Charlotte and here tonight at Phoenix, Doc Hudson will be our winner tonight. Amazing showcase for these guys. We saw a lot of strategies go every other way, and it was pretty cool to watch these guys do what they do best, and that's just put the pedal to the metal and let it rip. So pretty cool to see these guys come out here and put on a show for us tonight, and we're glad to bring it to you guys. So awesome racing by our drivers here tonight.
Yes, indeed. As we try to find the man that finished.
Welcome back here to the RHRL Xfinity race post-race show here, brought to you by Circle B Diecast. I am here. I will be bringing the first interview. Third place finisher, Toasted Gamers, brings it home. Third, gets a podium here, and I think this is the first time we've heard from him in a while. Toasted, how are you doing tonight?
Yarg, man, I'm doing great, man.
Absolute clownable offense there, but Toasted, you come home third. You had a quiet race, I feel like, throughout this thing, but stage 1 and 2 wasn't the best for you there. You got some damage there early, had to fight your way back up, and then In the stage 3, you managed to bring it home third. Just run me through your race. How difficult was it for you to bring home a podium finish, and what all did you have to do to get it here?
Well, working through the field is at Phoenix especially is very difficult because the passing is just a very difficult task, and it's a lot harder than at other tracks like a mile and a half to get up through the field. So I knew it was going to be kind of about track position. I kind of lost it straight away at the start of the race because top line just didn't get going on the start, and then I had that little incident at the end of stage 1, finished 10th there, and just kind of had to fight my way back up. I think I finished 6th stage 2, and yeah, that kind of just put me up in a good position to fight back up into the top 3 there at the end, and a bit of luck too. I think I definitely wasn't the third fastest car. I definitely think that Drew was top 3 as well. But you know, he had some racing incidents. But yeah, so here we are. But yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed that race. It was nice to have a just race again, you could say.
Yeah, it's always fun to get down there on the track. I know I speak for all of us when I say that. I
And
love
a
to be
much
out
share.
there racing, and but so Toasted, you gain about 40. You grab about 40 points here out of Phoenix, which is probably a tougher track than most think it is, like you said. But how are you going to build on this momentum here? A third place finish, and you get some decent points there. How are you looking to build on this momentum going into next week?
Well, Michigan is a very how can you say, unpredictable race for sure, especially with how much draft is a factor. A lot of people can be thrown in the hat for you know, who can win just because so much can happen there. It's almost like a mini Daytona in a way, but with a bit of lifting, you could say. Um, but yeah, it's definitely good to have those points to back me up in case, you know, anything happens. I wish I could have done a little bit better in the stages, but those are just mistakes on my part half the time, and you know, just difficulty passing, which, you know, is also on me. So yeah, it's just it's good to have that points buffer. You could definitely say. I don't know how much it'll be exactly, but it'll be really nice to have that for sure to back me up. And finishing highest out of all the playoff guys definitely helped as well tonight.
Absolutely, Toasted. Looking forward to seeing you continue to build up throughout the playoffs, and hopefully learning from the stages how tough it can be to pass cars. Well, hopefully you can bring something out of this race for the Cup race tomorrow. And one last question for you, so Kevin doesn't have to do it. Any shout-outs for tonight, Toasted?
Well, I'd love to shout out all my Canadians out there. Okay, Sideways and Crusher. They really helped me through those dark times with their yards. I really appreciate all the admins. On a serious note, they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and it is awesome as always. So what they do is great, and thanks to you guys for broadcasting as always. Y'all also do a great job weekly, and
Now he
I
is
know it's
just
a lot of
putting a
stuff.
bunch of different words in front of him.
Well, Toasted, congratulations there on the top 3. Hopefully you can build on it throughout this playoff run. And now we're going to shift over to second place, More Smoke, who will be interviewed by none other than Dark Abyss. Dark, take it from here.
More smoke, my friend. Make sure you got the little check mark on the box there. You get a copy, my good friend.
Sir.
Man, I picked you for my ones to watch. I thought you were gonna win. I thought you did have a chance all the way into the white flag, my friend. You started from the rear and worked your way forward. Talk to me. How was your car for tonight, my man?
It was really good on the long run. It wasn't as good on the short run. It took a couple laps to really warm up, but yeah, passing was hard, like Toasted said, so it took a while to get to the front. But second place isn't bad. For my first start.
We did see that dog did short pit. Did you ever think about trying to short pit dog or pit with dog to keep you and him kind of closer together?
Yeah, looking back on it, I probably should have because we only had 15 laps after we both cycled back around, and he had like 2.2 or something on me. I just think with the laps there and how close the tires were, it didn't really fall off as much, so it was probably a bad decision to stay out an extra lap. Like, definitely cost the race.
And hopefully we get to see you some more, man. Did you learn anything out there that's gonna help you further in the rest of the season?
Yeah, I was probably a little too tight in this run with the shorter, with the 3x, where I felt like we would have had longer runs, but I didn't realize we were only going to be doing like 20 laps or so I probably could have loosened it up just a little bit. Maybe make it better on the short run instead of work too like a lot on the.
Well, again, congratulations and a very impressive start here in the Xfinity Series. Is there anyone you'd like to thank for your victory tonight? I mean, for your sorry, not victory, second place. My apologies.
Yeah, all the admins for letting me race. I hopefully I'll be back next week and just move forward.
Yeah, and before any of them say anything else about this, I accidentally did call you Pop Smoke during the stream.
Oh, I don't.
But yeah, it was just an instinct. I don't know why it was an instinct. But again,
It's all
congratulations,
good.
and hopefully we get to see you get in victory lane very soon.
I appreciate that, man.
And now we have, I believe, Kevin with our race winner.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Abyss. Congratulations to both Toasted and more smoke there on very solid top 3 finishes. Now we head over to our race winner, Mr. Doc Hudson. Man, you got a copy?
How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. I think you'd probably be doing better, though, considering you have now back-to-back wins in the RHRL Xfinity Series. You got that first one at Charlotte, and it just seems like even over the off week, the momentum hasn't stopped. You roll in here, had a ton of speed tonight, and you end up coming up with the victory despite maybe a fear of tire issues. We'll get to that in a minute. But, man, walk me through the first couple stages of your race, especially stage 2 there. You had it up until the last corner, and then things went a little bit south.
For whatever reason, when my tire wear got below 10, it went from like 9 to 1. Like there was no, I don't know if it's a glitch in the game or what, but so yeah, that was interesting. I tried to wall pop it and still win the stage, but I got beat there. So obviously, built a car for speed because I planned on doing 3 stops instead of 2. I figured that was the way to go. And yeah.
Well, indeed, man, you had a rocket ship out there tonight, and obviously we head into stage 3. You had to repair a little bit of damage. You got back up to the front very quickly, though, after spending a little bit of extra time on pit road, and it almost seemed like you never really looked back. You had the strategy down. There were some guys that even tried to get on a completely unorthodox strategy. There was a couple guys, the 22 and the 6, that tried to save and cut out a pit stop. That didn't work out for them. Of course, there was guys pitting on different laps. It didn't matter, though. You had so much speed underneath that 48 car that it didn't matter. Your only challenger really towards the end there was the 5 of Amore Smoke. And did you really, feel any pressure from Amore there towards the end of that race, even with the way strategy was playing out?
Absolutely. Amore's obviously really, really fast all the time. I think if he had a short pitted with me, it would have been a totally different race there. Personally, I was wondering why he didn't, but yeah, he had a ton of speed. He's probably a little bit better than me on the long run. I fired off better than he did, but his car really came in after about 3 to 5 laps, it seems. So it was really fun there racing with him. And shout out to Drew, LMAO. I apologize. I gave him a little bit of front end damage, and that was not the intentions. I feel really bad about that. I tried to stay away from all the playoff guys. But yeah.
Well, hey, man, either way, things happen. I think he'll understand. But you got yourself a W here, and I got before I get to my usual one. You got any or how do you feel about this now? You're 2 for 2 here. You kind of had a race where, oh boy, you kind of had a race where today you end up coming out here with a rocket ship. You took a little while though to get going. It looked like earlier this season you were going to win places like Mid Ohio and Iowa, and you couldn't quite get those. You seem to have patched up whatever gaps were there. Now you're rolling out of here, 2 wins back to back. Do you think you can get it done at Michigan next week and go 3 in a row and continue this momentum that you're on?
Charlotte really changed how I have a lot of confidence from that. That was my first win in a legitimate custom setup league, so it really gave me a lot of confidence. So yeah, and I did not expect to win tonight. I mean, I expected to run decent, but Yeah, that's a big confidence booster because I mean, the competition in this league is just outstanding to say the least. So very appreciative of that was a clean race today. Really nice to see the strategies play out, and just want to thank all the admins and all the stuff behind the scenes that make this stuff work.
Indeed, man, and of course, and I know you mentioned a couple there, but any more thank you, shout outs, anything like that you'd like to give for your victory tonight here at Phoenix?
You guys for announcing it. Yeah, I was listening to the broadcast when I was racing. You guys really do a good job of keeping everybody informed what's going on. And just everyone that raced tonight, is just all love racing in this league. Hopefully I can get back into the Cup Series soon here, and yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, Doc, congratulations on your victory, second one in a row. We'll see if you can get it or keep that momentum going. Wish you all the best of luck, and like I said, congratulations.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Man, guys, Gavin Abyss, we had an amazing race once again tonight. We had a maybe not as eventful of a finish as last night's truck race, but either way, we come in here, we saw a great race, saw a lot of battling, and of course strategies were insane. What do you guys take out of here tonight?
A fantastic race, in my opinion, from a drive from the back to the front. Great battle at the end there between Doc and Smoke. I mean, you couldn't have asked for any better, in my opinion.
I'd agree.
Yeah, stole the words right out of my mouth there. I think the race was absolutely amazing, and it was really fun to watch. And I think I speak for all of us up here when we say that was some of the greatest racing we've seen in a while. And they typically, each series tends to amaze me more and more every week, and tonight was no different. I mean, you just saw many different strategies. You saw tires being blown at the finish of a stage. You saw it all, beating and banging first positions, sends. You saw it all there. I mean, it was just an amazing race, and it had everything you'd like to see in a short track race. And I especially love it when we get to come down here to Phoenix and enjoy such great racing like we did tonight.
Absolutely, and I gotta say, before we get to anything else here, if you haven't dropped a follow yet, do it. We do these every weekend, every Friday and Saturday night. We are almost at 100 followers. Help us get there. We usually don't bring it up a whole lot, but we're so close. If you haven't already done so, please do that. But also, I gotta give some thank yous as well. To, of course, Circle B Diecast. I unfortunately didn't get to do this last night because we ran a little bit longer. But, of course, I talk about it all the time, but I mean it. These guys, they support us. They're a great company. And as a diecast collector, it's really awesome to have them be a part of all this with us. And they have a lot of great stuff there, too. Tons of NASCAR diecasts coming out all the time. They've had a lot more IndyCar diecasts coming in as of late as well. Some NHRA, sprint car stuff, seen some late models, and they have a lot of other cool little small things on there as well, so go check them out. And when you do, if you make a purchase that's $20 or more and you live in the United States, use code RHRL at checkout and get all that stuff shipped to your house without any extra charge. And I promise you, Gavin can speak for this as well, that does add up if you get quite a few things like we do, so definitely utilize that.
Especially if you bulk buy.
Exactly. So definitely take advantage of that. They help us, and we support them as well. So take advantage of that. Do yourself a favor and add to that diecast collection. I know Gavin has a very long list as Kyle Larson continues to win races of diecasts that he needs to get. So, and I do as well.
And John Hunter.
Yeah, and I do as well, as I've been to quite a few more races this year, and of course I have a tradition of getting every race win diecast that I go to, so I have a pretty long list now as well. So we'll definitely get those checked off, and when we do, we will be sure to use code RHRL at Circle B. So make sure y'all do that, and of course, thank you all for tuning in. Like I've said a million times, it means so much to us, to the admins, which me and Gavin kind of play a dual role there, and also to the drivers, everybody here. It means so much that you guys come watch this, and I promise you, this is just getting started. The playoffs are going to be a whole lot of fun. We've seen so much competition just this weekend. The Cup race will not disappoint tomorrow night either. I cannot wait, and I can't wait to see what comes over the next few weeks. But with that being said, I'm going to shut up now, and I'll let Gavin close this thing out so you guys can go enjoy the rest of your evenings as if we haven't already enjoyed it enough tonight. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I mean, today has been a blast. It's been very eventful, to say the least. I can say, though, as a driver, when you see people tuning into the streams, it means a lot, just like it does for us up here in the booth. It means a lot to us that people want to come out every week and support. So we really thank you guys, and I know the drivers do too, even though they can't come on here and say it all the time. You know, they really do appreciate it. I know I did as a driver. Whenever I see guys tuning into the stream, it's an amazing feeling to know, guys want to come out and watch us. But thank you guys for the support. It really means a lot, and thank you
Hold
to
on, I gotta
everybody
say
that
one
makes
more
this
thing.
possible. But yeah, I mean, Kevin, take the floor.
No, I'm gonna say too. By the way, and I'm gonna take this from Gavin for a second, just to do this on him. So of course the Cup race tomorrow night. Obviously, Gavin doesn't join us up here in the booth. He's out on the racetrack. Air Just Cause will be up here with me and Abyss. That'll be on his channel, twitch.tv/AirJustCause4. But me, Abyss, and Alex will be calling the Cup race. Gavin, however, will be one of the 12 Cup Series drivers rolling into Phoenix tomorrow, contending for that shot at a championship. Gavin, I do have to ask, I think it's only right of us to ask, how are you feeling about your chances tomorrow at Phoenix? I know this is one of your favorite tracks, one of your best tracks. How you feeling? I think it would be wrong if we didn't bring that up.
Well, I certainly do enjoy the track, but I know a lot of my competitors are also extremely good here, so it's not going to be easy by any means. But hopefully, I just want to get out there and enjoy myself, however this goes. And I'm not really expecting to come out here and throw haymakers and win a championship. But I mean, if that happens, that'd be cool. But I'm just trying to come out here and have fun as much as I can when we come out here and race. That's just my main goal, is to enjoy myself, and whatever happens, happens, honestly. And I can't ask for a better group of guys to do it around. It's just going to be a blast, I feel like. So make sure you guys tune in.
Absolutely. We'll definitely be cheering you on, as well as the rest of the playoff drivers and the rest of the Cup Series field tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. But now I'm going to shut up for good this time, and I'll let you finish this thing off.
Are you sure?
I don't know, am I?
Alrighty.
Oh, yeah, I see some rocks. Yeah, we're good.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we appreciate your support, and thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight, supporting another amazing Xfinity race. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, just like Kevin said, at Air Just Cause, his Twitch TV. Oh my goodness, I'm stumbling. His Twitch channel there.
Finally, you did it.
It's gonna be an epic race for sure, and Phoenix definitely is one of the best tracks in this game, in my opinion. It's one of the most fun to race at, and it's definitely a challenge. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, guys, for Dark Abyss K Harvick fan. Some support for us, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And peace out. Thank you for watching.